A mother demands answers from her landlord after her kids breathe contaminated air.
So basically we're blowing fecal vapors throughout the home the entire time.
Then faulty drug screening protocols keeping families apart.
I was like, no, that can't be. I said, I don't do meth.
And massive flames at a battery storage site, creating serious safety risks for first responders. When systems fail, people pay the price. We trace the damage, expose the truth, and fight to fix it. This is Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates.
A family forced out of their home after learning their heater was blowing fecal matter. Atlanta News First Investigates visited the mother and her 4 children after they moved into a hotel for the holidays. This is the story uncovering one family's fight for safety.
Daddy, you want to get the smaller books right here, AJ?
Tiara Logan is a single mom,
Small books on the bottom.
packing up her 4 children again.
Put it sideways. I don't have family here. I left California to come here for safety.
She moved to Snellville, Georgia 3 years ago. She says to leave behind generations of domestic violence.
It took me wanting to see something different for them. That's why I'm here.
She moved her family into a hotel just before Thanksgiving after finding out her HVAC unit was blowing fecal matter throughout her entire home.
I try to deal with it and just stick it out, but we shouldn't be living like this.
Tiara says it started with the smell of sewage coming from the drains in her rental home in June 2024.
And I complained, I'm like, what's going on? What's that smell? And they told me, oh, just pour bleach down the drain, everything's gonna be fine.
Her landlord is a company called Star Borrower, along with the property manager Invitation Homes.
I called, I sent emails, and then they finally sent someone out.
According to maintenance records, Invitation Homes first sent a contractor to Tiara's home in July 2024.
He came out, didn't realize we were on septic, so he looked at the sink, he's like, I don't see anything wrong, you're fine, and he left. Then it started backing up into the tub and into the toilet, and it was horrible.
She continued submitting maintenance requests.
These are pictures of like me and my children's skin. Like we would break out really bad. Come to find out there was sewage that got into our washing machine.
She says as her kids were constantly sick and missing school.
We've been in and out of the emergency room.
In October 2024, she says Invitation Homes sent another contractor who found a backup in the septic tank outside.
This is a condition of the septic. Our water flows through that.
While Invitation Homes told her they resolved the septic issue, she says the smell didn't stop and dark spots appeared around pipes in the garage right below their bathrooms.
Spots where the sewage water came through, like right there, all right there.
She showed us month after month of maintenance service records where Invitation Homes sent different contractors to her home for more than a year.
It looks like they're fixing things, but in all actuality, they're not fixing it.
In March 2025, Tiara paid an attorney more than $600 to help her demand repairs.
The reason I kept paying my rent was because I didn't want my address exposed. With eviction being filed, your name can be searched and the address pops up.
But Tiara says throughout her sewage nightmare, various fees appeared on her rent bill that she continually tried to fight. Atlanta News First Investigates found the fees included a charge listed in error for maintenance repairs that she had submitted, as well as insurance policies, even though she paid her renter's insurance independently. In April, they charged her rent twice in the same day, with a month-to-month rent fee. They corrected her rent and documented it as an error with her lease renewal. Tiara says she called to fight the fees monthly, while racking up additional late fees. Invitation Homes' ledger of her rent shows they reversed some charges, but when she didn't pay the fees in July 2025, she received an eviction notice. Tiara fought that eviction in Gwinnett County Magistrate Court, and a judge ordered her landlord to pay $6,000 and make the repairs.
They never paid. And it's been 2.5 months since that court hearing. And what they're saying is, well, we're just going to bill it to your account and basically give you credit for it.
In October, Invitation Homes applied the $6,000 to her account in rent. But due to safety concerns from her past and her address exposed, Tiara says,
I could have used that to move, but I don't have the money to just come up with first and last.
In November, Invitation Homes sent her another contractor who discovered the original septic tank issue had spread sewage to her HVAC unit.
So basically we're blowing fecal vapors throughout the home the entire time.
The contractor's note in her rental portal noted a sewage backup due to septic tank clogging outside of home. He stated it smells like feces and the toilet overflowed Category 3 water, which dripped directly into the HVAC unit.
A lot of notes that were usually here are not there anymore.
Flood safety experts describe Category 3 water as highly contaminated, containing harmful pathogens, toxins, and other hazardous substances.
It's just frustrating because I can't give them a normal life because I don't want you guys to get sick. We're in and out of a hotel. Like, who wants to live like that?
When we asked Invitation Homes about Tiara's case, a spokesperson told us, in part, we take the concerns raised by this resident seriously, have complied with court orders to date, and are actively working to resolve any outstanding issues.
So much has happened since we aired this story. Give us an update.
She did, in fact, get her renter's insurance to help her pay for the hotel for just a couple of weeks to be in a safe environment as she negotiated with Invitation Homes. The day we aired this story, Invitation Homes gave her two, offerings saying we can move you to a new home or we can just, credit your account, for the rent that hasn't been paid and, let you out of the lease. And for her, both of those options were not safe options for her family. And so from there, she did receive some help from the community. That was an amazing thing that we did see from people online, social media, people picking up this story. Her church did get her a temporary apartment for now to get her family out of the hotel. People in the community dropped off Christmas gifts and toys for the kids. So people have really rallied behind her, but the fight is ongoing.
Someone's in a similar predicament as Tiara. What's the recommendation?
We say the same thing every time for these renter stories, is just try to communicate, request repairs, wait, give them time, request again. If they're sending contractors the way that Invitation Homes was sending contractors to her house, you want to give them time to get the parts to fix things. And, Tiara really did do that. And so it became the next step of documenting everything. And when she ended up in court on that eviction, she had documentation to provide to the magistrate court. That's another thing, though. If you don't have an eviction filed on you, you can file yourself in magistrate court. If you live in a county that has code enforcement, you want to call them and get them to come out and document if something is not habitable, because that's what the law says it has to be. Now, if you do, in her case, get a judgment where your landlord is supposed to pay something and is supposed to make repairs and they have not done that, that's when you can file what's called a constructive eviction to get out of that circumstance, or file what's called a 5-Fe, which works kind of like a lien on a property for an unpaid debt. Tiara has filed that 5-Fe, and so, according to the court, Invitation Homes owes her $6,000.
Grandparents left agonizing over accusations of substance abuse. They say Georgia's screening process is broken, and they're paying the price.
Grandparents failing drug tests, and they blame Georgia's unreliable drug screening process.
Atlanta News First Investigates met with the little boy's aunt, grandma, and even the great-grandfather, who all tested positive for drugs. All insist they don't use drugs, and they can prove it.
So we enjoy this life out here.
Benjamin takes us around his Richmond Hill property, showing the crops, animals, historic acres where 3 family generations live. The day would be otherwise perfect, except
Only one thing, we just missed our little great-grand.
his great-grandson, Azariah, hasn't been here since August, when Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services, or DFACS, removed the 2-year-old from the home.
Try not to think about him too much because it make you sick.
It all goes back to when DFACS first got involved in 2023. Azariah's mom admitted to drug addiction, and the Bryan County investigation moved slowly due to staffing shortages, the family recalls. But eventually, caseworkers moved forward with Azariah's placement options. Multiple immediate relatives on mom's side sought temporary custody. One of the requirements? A drug screen. Great-granddad Benjamin thought nothing of it until, he says, his drug screen came back positive. The 76-year-old has overcome many challenges, including near paralysis after a crash. But this hurdle, it feels unbelievable.
The way they're handling it, if they would handle it with some common sense.
A frustration with defects shared by the rest of the family.
Yeah, they need to do better. They got to do better.
Grandma Katina and Aunt Jayana were drug screened. Social workers told them both they too were positive for methamphetamine.
I was like, no, that can't be. I said, I don't do meth.
Alleged test results they don't even have copies of.
What happened when you asked for a copy of it?
I reached out to our caseworker and I asked her if she could provide copies of all of our hair follicle testing, and I never received a text message back.
On a Facebook group to help families deal with defects cases, they came across posts of Atlanta News First investigations. Our year-long reporting uncovered a history of concerns, complaints, and records of false positive hair follicle tests from Georgia drug labs. We found some labs contracted to do drug screens on behalf of defects typically don't perform an additional confirmation specialized drug test called DL isomer. The confirmation test distinguishes between legal drugs like medicine versus illicit drugs. As our reporting advised, the family began to get independent drug screens. Hair follicle tests they paid for out of pocket show they are negative for drugs. Despite the documents, Azariah is still not home with the only family he's ever known.
It's just really hard when we go to see him twice a week for 2 hours, and then it's time for us to leave, and he wants to run behind us, and he's crying because for his whole life he's been with us.
What are your feelings toward defects?
They supposed to be for the kids, but they're not.
Back outside, they all take a walk together around the property the toddler loves so much, hoping for his return.
I hope it'll come back to our favor. You know, because we miss the little guy.
Sierra, great reporting. Where do things stand right now with this family and the toddler's mom?
You know, it's important to know that while we highlighted the extended family, the actual child welfare case is between Azariah's own mom and him, the toddler. That's how child welfare services works. And so we know the state is still investigating the mom. In the meantime, though, she is getting treatment for the drug addiction that she admits she has. And so the goal would be for her, she does want to be reunited. She wants to have her child in her care after she gets the help she needs, but her extended relatives, they want to be able to keep Azariah in their home while the mom is recovering. So temporary custody here. And so we're looking to see where that case goes, but in the interim, short thing here is that nothing's really changed. The family, extended family, the relatives do not have Azariah. He is with a relative on the dad's side, and the mom continues to get her drug addiction treatment.
Geez, you have told the stories of so many families that are going through this exact same thing. You know, this story expanding it to even the grandparents can't get custody. 2 years long. Has the state said they're going to do anything about this?
Short answer, there are no new solutions. On its face, we can't find anything that says the state has stopped using hair follicle drug screens, that they've implemented any new rules or policies related to drug screens. We know they were supposed to do an audit. We don't have records that they've done an audit. We know they've sent some internal memos reminding people to follow federal guidelines. But short answer is no new solutions. When we reached out to the state, though, I'll let you know what they said, which was we are looking at literature and reviewing other processes that other states have done to inform any changes or any processes that we might implement here. At the time of this recording, we're just a week or so away from the legislative session, and while there is no official bill or legislation related to our Soul and Sobriety series or drug screening, we know the state agency has to go before lawmakers to talk about budgeting, to talk about money they need. So we're going to be really curious to see if this comes up in any of those fiscal money, what we call appropriations hearings. That's something we'll be watching.
All right. Thank you.
Massive flames at battery storage facilities. Ahead on Uncovered, first responders reveal what's fueling the fires and putting lives at risk.
Facilities that store energy for later use, creating immediate safety risks.
Investigative reporter Morgan Lowe uncovers how one spark at a battery storage facility quickly turned to an explosive risk for first responders in one Arizona community.
They are used to power our modern lives, providing a place to store energy. Lithium-ion batteries pack a lot of electricity. But that power can turn unstable. They've caused golf cart fires, garage fires, car fires, airplane fires, and building fires.
These batteries, when they cook off, can get to temperatures of 3,600 degrees.
That was Fire Captain Michael Duffy at a Phoenix City Council meeting in July, warning about the dangers posed by lithium-ion batteries and the facilities that house them.
We're not talking about a Tesla car on the roadway. We're talking about an enclosed structure that is a maze.
Battery energy storage system facilities are popping up across the valley. These are just the ones owned by APS and SRP. This is what they look like, rows of structures that resemble shipping containers. They're full of racks containing batteries. This video from the University of Texas Fire Research Group shows just how fast a fire can ignite and quickly spread inside the containers to other batteries and racks, quickly going from a small fire into a roaring inferno. And this doesn't only happen in a laboratory.
We have a full-blown fire inside of one of these units.
This took place at an SRP battery facility. The plan at any of these is to let the battery that's on fire burn itself out.
Consume all the stuff that's in there, the bad gases, the chemistry that's going on, even the building that it's confined to.
Firefighters go nowhere near it because of something that happened to this firefighter here in the valley 5 years ago. These images show the smoldering outside of the APS McMicken battery storage facility in Surprise in April of 2019. That gray mist on the ground is gas seeping out of the building.
When our Peoria firefighters opened the door, they gave this monster what it needed, which was air, and it deflagrated, it exploded. It was a freight train coming out of the door.
That explosion, called a runaway thermal event, severely injured 4 firefighters, including Peoria Division Chief Hunter Clare, who is back on the job but will never be cleared to work on a frontline fire truck again.
I had to learn to walk again. I only had one working extremity at the time. I'd broken my neck, my back, amputated my feet off, had to have those reconnected, shattered my scapula, broke bones, lots of different things that are going on, suffered a traumatic brain injury.
The investigation that followed resulted in major changes to how battery facilities are set up and monitored.
Our incident showed that there needed to be some changes within the industry.
60 miles southwest of Phoenix, you can literally see the result of those changes.
It was a moment of reflection for us, where we pulled in industry experts and said, how can we learn from this and make these systems safer moving forward? We decommissioned all of the sites that were like McMicken back in 2019 and started from scratch.
Kasdan Hall is the engineering supervisor of renewable generation at APS. He is showing us the state-of-the-art Desert Star solar battery site.
The technology is completely different.
The battery storage units are no longer indoors. There is ventilation for explosion control, and if there ever is a fire here, it's designed to burn itself out. Hall says the increase in safety is night and day for first responders.
Basically, the response is they show up, we let it smolder, let it do its thing, and then it'll put itself out, and if we need additional assistance, we'll call for it.
Not every battery energy storage system is as cutting edge as APS's, and there are smaller battery systems in many of the data centers popping up across the valley.
But first responders say they are in a much better position today to respond in an emergency at one of these facilities than they were just a few years ago.
You can listen to all of our extended conversations on these stories right now on our podcast, Behind the Investigation. Just search Atlanta News First on your favorite podcast platform. You're watching Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, a weekly hour-long investigative show with new episodes launching every Sunday at 7.